All right, Wayne Allen Root with Bill O'Reilly, the king of cable news for 16 years in a row. We're always honored to have him on our show. Bill O'Reilly, how are you? Hope you had a great weekend.
I was down in Florida, so it was good. And now it's not quite as cold up here in New York, so we're making progress.
All right. Well, I sure hope that America's making progress, but a new poll says the future doesn't look too good for guys like you and me that happen to like capitalism. A new Harris poll shows more than half of young Americans want to live in a socialist nation. This comes at the same moment as Venezuela's melting down in one of the worst apocalyptic nightmares in the history of the world. People are just in disastrous shape. Bernie Sanders says his radical views are now in vogue. What say you, Mr. O'Reilly?
Well, you know, I wrote my message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com. Remember that song in the 60s by the Guess Who? Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the land that they'll be giving away when we all live together. And that was in the late 60s. Well, you know, there wasn't any sharing the land or living together. It's never going to happen. And it's easy for dopey young kids who really don't want to put the work in to establish themselves, because it's very hard, Wayne. As you know, you did it, I did it, very hard. They don't really want to do that. They kind of want to have their health care, college paid for here, guaranteed job here. Yeah. So I say, you know, in my message of the day, look, if you want to live in a socialist country, what's stopping you? You know, you can get on a flight to New York. You're in Caracas in 4.5 hours. You get off, you go through customs, and hey, there you are. You don't let you in. They want Yankees with money. All right, so you have a few bucks in your pocket, you're in your socialist paradise. So what's stopping you?
Yeah, exactly. I was with a friend the other day, by the way, who's a multi-zillionaire. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And I said, what's the key to success in your opinion? He said, just what you said, Bill. It's the hardest game in the world. I've had ups, I've had downs, I've been broke again and again. Then I come back. You know, getting a government job is easy. Getting welfare checks is easy. This is hard. Same exact thing you and I think. It's just not easy.
If you go to Scandinavia or Holland, Belgium, France, and you see how the people live there, they're totally dependent on their government. So that's why when the government says we're going to raise the gasoline price, they're all out burning down the Eiffel Tower. Okay? Because they don't have any say. They don't have the extra dollars to pay the heightened gas prices. So if you are an American and you understand that this country was forged on self-reliance, that's what made it great, not the government in Washington. In fact, the government in Washington, more times than not, Wayne, screwed it up.
Screws it up.
Screwed it up.
Right.
That it was individual people who made a success of themselves in areas, and that success branched out. If you get that, and you want to let Barack Obama or Nancy Pelosi or even Donald Trump have power over you and what you do and how you do it, I mean, it goes against everything that America has ever stood for.
And by the way, I'm Exhibit A. 3 times in my life, Bill, I've been worth millions of dollars, and the government passed a new law or a new rule and lost me everything, and I started over again. So government has screwed me over again and again. And the people have never screwed me over. America's never screwed me over, only government. All right, ABC News, Terry Moran had this to say about the Mueller probe. If no collusion is found, he said, that's a reckoning for progressives and for Democrats who hope that Mueller would essentially erase the 2016 election. It's a reckoning for the media. It's a reckoning across the country. If, in fact, after all this time, there was no collusion, what say you?
Well, you know, I don't expect ABC News or any of the national media to say, oh, we were wrong, or we overplayed this, and we didn't report or analyze the stuff fairly. I don't expect any of that. Zero. So reckoning, you know, who's going to hold them accountable? There's no government agency that has any power over the media. So that Terry Moran, I don't really understand what he's talking about. What will happen is that people in the independent precincts, not the supporters of Trump or the haters of Trump, they'll start to say to themselves, enough. And if the Democratic Party is going to continue this in Congress, in the House, then the independents are going to vote Republican. They're going to say, I've had enough. You're boring me to death. So that's what I think is going to happen.
All right. I remember when I was on with Bill Maher, by the way, on Politically Incorrect on ABC TV, and Clinton was the one who they were badgering over sex, and I was against Clinton, and Bill Maher said, you're overreaching and you're going to lose, and he's going to become popular. And guess who was wrong? Me. And guess who was right? Bill Maher. And I don't get why liberals don't see the same parallel. You know, we overreached against Bill Clinton, and that was with a girl in the White House who was an intern in the Oval Office. And this is just ridiculous. The collusion and the payoffs of the sex that happened 10 years before he became president. Democrats overreaching. So I'm with you, Bill. The president upped the ante on the border wall, now looking for more than $8 billion in the budget. Good move?
I don't know whether that's a good move. I mean, he's giving them jazz. He's poking them. So the 2020 budget comes out today. The Republicans and the Trump administration say we want to balance the budget. All right, want to balance it. So we're going to cut on an average 5% of all programs in the federal government. And then we'll get it down so we don't add to the national debt. All right, that sounds noble to me. It's not going to happen. They'll have to make compromises, right, and they'll never balance the budget. But you're trying to restrain spending now. But then he comes in with a fairly big number on the border wall when he knows that that's never going to get anywhere in the House. So it seems to me he's just poking them, poking Pelosi and the crew, just saying, hey, you're not intimidating me. I still see this as a priority for American security. I'm going to do it. But where does it go? I don't know really where it goes other than the Democrats saying, no, we're not going to accept it.
Well, hopefully it goes to a big victory in 2020 when the American people see they won't give us a dime. I guess. Maybe. That's the theory. Or it's a negotiation.
But you got to win the House back. Look, if Trump wins the re-election, he's got to get the House back. Because if he's reelected, right, a House stays in the hands of Democrats. It's just going to be this nonsense for another 4 years, tacked on the 2 years that we have to go to the election. And Americans are just going to, hey, come on. So it's a possibility that the Republicans will surge if the Democrats continue to be ridiculous.
All right, Bill O'Reilly, thanks for the opinions. Thanks for the wisdom. Always great having you on the show. Great honor. Thank you, Bill.
All right, Wayne. Thank you.